More and more concerns are being voiced over plans for a supervised drug inhalation site. Reason? Well, the site is going to be located less than 100 meters from an elementary school. About 300 students, preschool to grade 6 at this school in St Henri. Now, residents and parents in that neighborhood are speaking out. Some are against, others are for this site. Let's go now to Anick Desrosiers, a social worker and street psychotherapist, and a social work PhD candidate at McGill. And she's also a mother and stepmother of 3 daughters, a resident of St Henri. I can't think of a better person to talk to about this subject. Anick, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So what do our listeners need to know here? I mean, we talked about it earlier on the show. I've read the news reports, so I've got some details here. But there's some stuff that just can't be reported in a news report. What do we need to know? What's the color, the added insight you want to offer here?
I think there's many things that have to be considered, and I want to start by saying that I understand completely that most people that are involved in this in this thing just want what is best for their children, and they are worried that the center could bring some people that could cause harm or trouble to their children, and I think that's something that as parents, I am a parent myself, it's responsible to want to protect your children. What is difficult to understand, and I can totally understand why people don't get that, is that this site will actually make the place safer. The Benoît Lab project is not a project like for every user. It's a project for a very undeserved community of people who are actually homeless and suffering from addiction. And there's no service for that, actually, that they can stay a resident. So when people want to consume, they don't dream about consuming in front of children or to be a nuisance to the community or to be looked at. They want privacy too. And the fact that there's a center that will be right behind will make that people will go in the center instead of trying to go hide and consume wherever they can, because it's an addiction. They will consume, and we already see that in our area in St Henri. As a mother, I already, like my children, witness homelessness, they witness drug use, and this is already happening in St Henri. Now, this project is on the side of solution. We know that homelessness is growing in all Montreal, and if we just want to make as it's nothing happening, we will see it more. We will not see it less.
So, Anick, I hear what you're saying. At the same time, this just in the last 12 hours, there's reporting from both La Presse and Radio-Canada, and it's about what they call the crack alley, l'allée du crack, right? That's on Berger and Charlotte Streets downtown. And some of the images, it's broad. So there is a safe consumption site that opened up. Cactus operates a safe consumption site. Yeah. And on that street, there is open drug use now. They're going into the condos, right? Drug users are going into the condos on that street. People say they can't sleep anymore because there's yelling and screams and howls coming from the street, okay? Yeah. So what I struggle with, and here's the other, I've heard law enforcement, they tell me this, and they say, Elias, you know who loves when these safe consumption sites open? And I'm like, who? Drug dealers. Because now drug dealers know exactly where to go to find people to sell products to, right? So this is why I struggle, because I'm trying to find an example of a site like this opening, and then things get better on the street. I have an example, like I said, on Charlotte and Berger Street, where it's getting worse. So why is this project different?
First, it's different because there's housing associated. So there's some people that I can tell you about, like I'm a psychotherapist. You get me in between 2 appointments today. But yesterday I was on my field research with people that I met a guy. Like I would have liked for you and your auditors to see him and to hear him. And he's like the people I see that hope to get in that project. It's a guy that was looking like my grandfather, big blue eyes, a big heart, and was telling me how hard it was difficult to stop consuming, and how he had been thrown out of every place he tried to go because he cannot refrain himself from consuming. So he was really able to, he was telling me, and he doesn't know my involvement in anything related to this project, that there's a house that will be constructed for people like him, so he can have a place to go and not be in the street anymore at an old age. I think people, what maybe not understand is that most people that use drugs, they will not change area when they use drugs. They stay where the place they are used to. The problem we see in the crack alley and places like that is there's a lot of people that are already there. The safe consumption site is kind of part of a solution to keep them safe while they consume, to make sure that we don't find syringes and stuff. But of course, it's not enough, and there's a wider problem of drug consumption everywhere, and those the growing community and the toxicity of those substances too. And it's sure that this site alone will not remove the problem, but we cannot think that if the site is not there, the safe site, the people will continue to consume and will continue to consume in the street, and you will see them even more. So maybe it's not a problem that there's a resource there. Maybe it's a problem that there's not enough resource there. If you give those people that have nowhere to go a roof to consume, a place of their own, and the sufficient support to be able to consume safely, you will get less of this. And I totally understand that no citizen, no person ever want to go out of this place and be a witness of I've heard all kind of story that we cannot tolerate, but maybe the problem is not myself as a mother, even in St Henri area, I'm not interested to see all kind of things happening. We don't want to see suffering also, when we go out of our house. But the idea, those problems the people that consume, they will stay. They will stay in Montreal. They will continue to exist. They will be there, and they will be there even more. When there's an organization like that, they can have support, and when they are ready, they can also have support to stop that. But the problem is much wider than those sites, and I don't think we can blind. The sites are there because the users are there. It's not the contrary.
So
the site
Anick,
doesn't bring users.
Anick, you seem to know this issue so well. Maybe you can clarify one thing. And I got an answer yesterday on this, and I'm not sure what the right answer is. So this safe consumption site, of course, it's got 36 studio apartments where people who are homeless can live, right?
Yes.
But my question is, the safe inhalation site, is it only for the 36 people that live there, or can anyone go to that safe consumption site?
I'm not part of this project. I'm supporting this project, but I'm not in any way related to the team that will do it. So the information I will give you is what I understand from it.
Gotcha.
What I understand from it, it's an organization in homelessness. So it's going to be open to those residents, but also to homeless people that need a safe place to consume. You have to understand that these people are already in the area, and it's not usually in the pattern of people using drugs to change area, to take the metro, just in case they can have a safe place to consume. So this will answer to a need that is already in the area. If parents, I understand parents, if parents don't want their kids to find some syringes in their park, the best way for it not to happen is to have a safe place where people go consume that is just near. So I feel like the children in this school will be even safer than other places in Montreal, because there's going to be also some workers. If the park will be closed first to the citizens, it will be reserved for the kids on school days, from what I understand, and they will also have patrols and available workers. So if anything happens, this community in St Henri will be well safeguarded, I could say. And since the service exists, you give reason to people to not consume, people that are already in the area. I would be really surprised to see people from other area come in, because it's not what people do according to research. So it's going to be the people that are already there and that we're already seeing. And I understand that these people that are there and visible contribute to the fear of people of the area that's going to get worse in St Henri, because the situation is already tough. Yeah. But you have an organization that starts to bring solutions and safety.
Anick, listen, I want this to work. I want it to work. My concern is I see stories from across Canada where it doesn't work, And you mentioned the needles. So there's stories out of Calgary. There's stories out of Vancouver where the families in that area, they were told the same thing. The needles would go away because now they have a safe place, and there were more needles. So I'm going to look at this. I really hope it works out. Maybe we can catch up in the future to talk more, okay?
Yeah, we can do that. I'd be happy to do so.
That is Anick Desrosiers, and it seems to be what a fabulous voice there to talk about this issue. Thanks, Anick.